Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Chris with InsideTheU. Back here, day 3 of Senior Bowl practice here in Mobile, Alabama, on the campus of University of South Alabama. Before I get into my observations of Hurricanes Markeel Bell and James Brockermeyer, I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody for following the channel. We just gained over 29,000 subscribers, so on the road to 30K. I really appreciate everybody. I haven't yet to thank everybody for their support, and it was a lot of fun seeing all the excitement on the Hurricanes playoff run. That's when we went over 29,000. So I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody. And I know the only way to get to 30K is I've got to continue to produce content for you guys. So that's one reason why I'm here in Mobile. All right, let's get into it. First with Markeel Bell, and I just got done talking with him after practice. We're able to talk to players after each practice, which has been great. And Markeel didn't have an official measurement with the Senior Bowl, so I asked him where he's at with things, and he said he's still about 6'9", 355. That's where he feels like he would weigh in or check in at. That's what he played at this season for the Hurricanes, at 355. And look, today's practice was good for him. I thought it was another good day out of him, good in one-on-one drills. I thought, watching the team drills, again, another full padded practice. I thought he did a good job in providing run blocking, whether it's getting low, he's doing a good job of that as a taller tackle. And then also in pass protection, just doing a good job of keeping his guy out of the mix there and allowing the quarterback to make some throws. And the American team, where these guys are playing, both of them, the offense did a really good job, especially in some red zone drills late in practice. So the offense was looking good. I thought, Markeel had some good blocks. I also thought James had some good blocks as well. And speaking of the offense doing well, there was a play where Indiana running back Kalon Black got into the end zone and Markeel kind of greeted him, kind of a nice little headbutt there. And it's just one of those reminders of now what these guys are all working towards. Their futures, certainly they all have a past for different reasons, but I thought that was just like a cool moment, one of the moments that you kind of see in an atmosphere like this. Another note on Markeel, I just want to point this out. He has received an invitation to the NFL Combine, which is great news for him. This is very good. So February 23rd, that's when the Combine will start. That's the next step in the process for these guys after the game on Saturday. Markeel did confirm he plans to play in the game, as well as James. They both said they plan on playing in the game on Saturday. Sometimes players do back out at the last minute, as we saw in the East-West Shrine game. But with these guys, they're planning on playing, which is great to hear. And with James, I thought it was another solid day out of him. I was really impressed with day 2 out of James. Today, again, I just thought it was a solid day. I think he's doing a good job. And one thing I like, again, is just kind of watching him all the time. I think he's doing a good job of being really involved with the offense, calling up for huddles. It's all the things that you expect a center to do, and he's doing it here at this level. And I think for him, he played for 3 teams in college. I think so coming to an environment like this, it's not as of a big of a change in terms of meeting all these new players from all different conferences or schools around the country. So James kind of comes in, kind of leads in his way, not a overly vocal guy, but I think he's done a good job with that. Also, just kind of seeing his rapport with the quarterbacks. It looks good, working with each of these guys. And today's practice, he worked with Nussmeier there at LSU, working on some snaps there at the beginning of practice. They kind of rotate each practice the way it's worked each day. So it's good he's just kind of working with another quarterback at the beginning, going through some reps there. So as the players get ready for the next step with the Combine, they're going to now go back and train. That's the thing about the Hurricanes players with James and Markeel. They've not really been training yet for the draft. James said he did a little workout to kind of get past the national championship game, but they've been such in game mode, and now they're going to transition. James said he's going to plan to go back to Texas and work out. The pro day at Miami will be in March, expectedly. They've not announced the exact date, but it's always been in March of late. So definitely stay tuned for that. And then, Markeel's still up in the air with where he's going to train, but probably he was thinking Texas as well. So those guys will be away for a little bit, but certainly they'll be there at Miami Pro Day and looking to put on a show. But that comes after the Combine. So both of those guys, we'll see if James gets the invite. I haven't heard, but that's just something that is the next step in their process here as they prepare for the NFL draft in April. Being here has been great, watching James and Markeel going through the process, but also it's been good kind of chatting with some of the other reporters here, guys that really focus on the NFL draft. And I was talking to one reporter about Keontae Scott, who's not here. I was hoping he would be, but just coming off that national championship game. Also, if you remember, he had that injury late in the regular season, so not really a surprise not to see Keontae here. But the guy told me that he feels Keontae is the best nickel in this draft, and that's certainly great news to hear, because certainly we've watched Keontae make a ton of plays, in the run and defending pass. But I think Keontae is a guy. Once I assume he'll be at the combine. I think he'll have a chance to really shine there as well. In addition to being this big-time playmaker for the Hurricanes this season, but just want to pass that along that, it is interesting hearing what other people have to say about the Hurricanes. So in addition to Markeel and James out here, former Hurricane player and coach Clint Hurt, now the current defensive line coach for the Philadelphia Eagles, is the national team head coach. I was able to catch up with him after practice day, which was great. And he was actually, I just want to pass this along, he was talking to another reporter, answering one of their questions about the report about him, interviewing for the Miami Dolphins defensive coordinator job. And he did confirm it. He said he felt like it went well. So we'll see if Clint's going to go ahead and take that next step, whether there or somewhere, getting back into being a coordinator. But he said that, this event's been great, kind of being a head coach. You're kind of involved, even at this level, this all-star event here, just involved with so many different things. He said the players have been great, asking him a lot of questions, not just the defensive line guys, but just everybody involved. And I asked Clint, it was good. I asked him about the Hurricanes, just their season. So definitely stay tuned to the website. I'll post something on there about what Clint had to say about, and also he's worked with Mario Cristobal, and Cristobal was a GA when Clint was a player. So he remembers Mario back then. But one of the things he said was great too, and I've seen this as I've talked to other former Hurricanes, with the season Miami had this year, the run that they had this year, just so much excitement from the alums. And Clint said, yeah, absolutely. He was excited. He even then showed me, his tattoo on his right bicep, just one of these guys, just one of these, a number of guys, just really excited with what Miami's been able to do, what I've been able to accomplish. But also, Clint did say this, I want to pass this along. He wants to make sure this isn't just a flash in the pan. It just wasn't a one season. They want to continue. Everybody wants to see Miami continue to build. And certainly, you guys know, there's a lot of reasons to be excited about the 2026 Hurricanes, just like you have the last couple years. Another thing that's been kind of fun about being up here is kind of just watching all the position drills, different drills. We see a lot of the Miami drills when we're allowed to be out of practice, whether spring or fall. But there's been some drills that have intrigued me. It was fun, for example, today, watching the running backs go through some drills, really working on their footwork, their quickness, kind of going in and out of the pads there on the ground, as you can see. And they look great. It's fun watching running backs kind of go through their craft, especially at this level, now that they've gotten through college and just kind of preparing for the draft. But a lot of quick feet, you got to have that. I touched on the other day about the running backs not being able to, the other running backs not catching the ball great, but just watching these guys go through the footwork drills I thought was great. And also too, kind of the wide receivers. It's fun watching the wide receivers, doing a great job of not dropping passes, but also making, tough catches, whether it's on air or against the defense, but just, making sure that they secure the catch. It's been impressive all week. But that is going to wrap everything up for me. In these three practices are now over. They'll have an off day and then the game on Saturday. But I want to thank everybody for watching the videos, watching these videos, as well as the highlights, the interviews with James and Markeel. Plenty of content still to come when I get back to South Florida, back to Miami. There's going to be a lot of content on InsideTheU.com that I think a lot of people will be excited to read. So definitely stay tuned to the channel for here and then also the website as well. But thanks for watching. Again, #road to 30K. Let's do it. We got to do it together. But the only way I can do it is by you guys continuing to pass along the word and also making sure that I put out good content for you guys to watch. But thanks again. Have a good rest of the day and take care.